Okay. Because here's what happened. Those volunteers that were removed, they went on to Franco's show, they went on to Vanguard, and they gave very specific details. And they have screenshots of some of these, altercations. And at that point in time, um, I do know that Franco and Vanguard, they invited you to come on as well to like give your side of the story. And I have to ask this question, Nick. Why did you not go onto those shows to give your side of the story?
Well, I think if I was there again, I probably would. But at the time, it was just so evident that the way that it was being approached was as a smear. And in fact, we had put out statements that were correcting what had happened, the record on what had happened, setting it straight. And those statements were just completely ignored by the two podcasts that you mentioned. And so when we see that, or when one sees that, you have to kind of question the journalistic integrity and intent of an individual who would do so, when we would say, hey, here's the statement that explains a lot of what you're talking about. And they will simply...
Fuck a statement, bro. The reason why we asked you to come on our show was so that you could clarify your position in your own goddamn words. And how is it a smear to do a roundtable panel interview with 5 of your ex-volunteers, people that worked their asses off trying to build your party, only to be abused and fired from your organization with no notice or with no recourse?
That he was fucking invited to.
Right, that he was invited to. We invited him to that panel. We invited him to comment on the article we wrote. At every turn, we tried our very best, and so did Franco, to have that integrity that he's talking about. He's the one with no integrity. He's the one that refused to, adhere to basic standards of accountability or transparency when it comes to being a political organization leader. So yeah, right off the bat, just total insanity, total gaslighting, total bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Franco even tried to, as somebody pointed out, tried to politely go up to him and literally in person and be like, please I am here to say I think this specific action you're doing in Washington, D.C. is justified and good work. Please come on my show and let me discuss with you the way these volunteers feel they've been mistreated in your organization so we can address this and move forward. Because even when I talked to Franco after we had been like, fuck People's Party, he was like, guys, I really think we should still give it a chance. This is a one-way forward. Like, he really fucking wanted this shit to work out, right? To his credit. He was not trying to smear MPP. He was at all. He was like, I would like for them to be able to get over this. Like, let's talk about, he was not like us. We were ready to burn the fucking bitch down as soon as they smeared the people that we'd spoken with.
Although that being said, to be fair to us, we were making pro MPP videos for a while before then. We were on the MPP train. It's not like we started out from an anti-MPP perspective. Like I said, when we started our channel, we did like a handful of very pro MPP videos covering them, talking to their representatives, etc. To say that we came at this from a place of wanting to smear the MPP, that is just ridiculous and patently false. And all we were trying to do was platform the side of the story from the ex-volunteers, the workers that were leveling these claims against MPP. So yeah,
100%. But all I'm saying is, even if he was going to level, like, these guys were too tough, I didn't want to talk to them, they were mean to us. You can't argue about that with Franco. Franco was going to be extremely polite and professional with him when they conducted the interview. So I'm just gonna lay that out there.
Pretend as if it doesn't exist.
Well, I think the thing is, like, even if you have a statement, I think they wanted to hear it from like your mouth. They wanted you to come on and explain it yourself. And I think, like, looking back on that, like, I got to be honest with you, I think that was a mistake, like, not to go on those shows, because the volunteers, they had their story and people just kind of took it and ran with it. And people started to assume things, like, people thought, well, maybe he is at fault because he won't come on. So I think, like, anytime, like, you have that type of message coming out and they're inviting you to come on, I think that you should come on and give your side of the story. And in reference to the journalistic integrity, I will say, I know Franco pretty well, pretty close wise. Franco does like a lot of research. He's written like his first article about like the whole like vaccines and stuff like that. He does a lot of work, a lot of research. So I don't think it's fair to knock his journalistic integrity. I'm sorry, but like I think that's the wrong one. Like that's somebody that does work really hard.
Well,
Bro,
I'm
good for
glad to hear
Sabrina
that,
right
but I
there.
do know
Fuck
for a
yeah, that was
fact
bad.
neither.
Really hard.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, but I do know that for a fact neither one of them covered the statement that we put out in response to this, and so I do think that there is a question as to why was that done as well. Why is it treated as if we haven't responded? There are answers to
Because your statement was
questions there.
obviously bullshit, you
And
fucking
so
snake.
what is it that you really want? Do you really want to have someone come and tell it to you? In
Yes,
an
that's what a
interview?
journalist does, you
Or do
fuck.
you want
And
them
also,
to
pause
be
this 1 second. Pause this
interested?
1 second. We told everybody that the statement existed. We also said it's dog shit, and if you read it, you can see right through it. We talked about how it existed. It wasn't like we pretended he'd been silent. We said, hey, he won't respond to our fucking questions because my fucking questions would have pierced through that bullshit, just like Gavin's would have. Because where is your evidence for the things that you're saying in that statement? We knew he couldn't answer that fucking question. Please provide it to us right now. Maybe marbles in your mouth. Of course, you don't have any fucking evidence. So what? Here's my favorite thing. Here's my favorite thing in the world about they won't report my statement. Aren't you the guy that loves to go on Jimmy Dore's show who will like blast Ryan Grim for being a stenographer to power whenever he just reports on a fucking congressperson's statement? This man has endless levels of hypocrisy. Endless levels of hypocrisy. I mean, right there on your face. I just tore you to shreds with what, 30 seconds of your own voice? Like, Jesus Christ.
The show, are you interested in being able to put together a show, or are you interested in really trying to ascertain the veracity of what happened? And that was the issue. But like you said, I agree with you. I think it was a mistake not to go on those shows, not to join the two of them. I do think that Franco has done some good work, and if we were back there, me at least, it's not all up to me. I'm not a dictator of the People's Party, no matter what people may think. Otherwise, we probably would have been able to hold accountable some of our contractors and enforce basic reporting standards and have a membership vote on COVID-19 mandates. And so it's up to really the leadership of the organization. But if I was back there, I would be glad. I would gladly go and join those shows.
Would you go on those shows now if they extended the offer tomorrow?
Probably, if I thought it was in good faith. And again, it's not just up to me. I may want to go on, but there's a leadership that has to be convinced that it's in good faith. And in the past, they were not.
Okay.
Yeah, way to hide behind your leadership, by the way. Oh, sorry, guys. I wanted to go on. I wanted to, hold myself to the standard of basic accountability that every organization leader has to hold himself to. But unfortunately, guys, the leadership they told me no, man. What can I say? My strings are just being pulled by the leadership of the MVP. And they told me no, guys, I just couldn't do it.
For my part.
I want to move on to this question about the NDA. For people who are board members that are part of MPP, do they have to sign some type of a non-disclosure agreement?
Yes.
Okay. If they leave the organization, are they still bound to that NDA?
Well, yes. I mean, that's one of its functions.
Okay. Why did they have to sign an NDA? Is this to protect the organization or?
Well, ironically, it's to protect from situations such as what is unfolding and to keep them from being any.
Sounds like the U.S. government.
That is that there are a lot of personal matters that are discussed, personal personnel matters, perspectives, in a leadership body like the CC, the National Board. You have to be able to speak openly with your fellow committee members about, who might make a good.
Is that why you booted literally 5 people that were trying to investigate you for claims of harassment? Anyway, this is total insane. Yeah, it's to protect from situations like this. Oh, yeah, you mean when your volunteers come out and start explaining what a fucking terrible, dysfunctional, abusive organization that you run and how horrible of a leader you are? Yeah, it sure is. That's exactly why it's there, to protect your shitty organization from the actual people, the whistleblowers that are trying to expose what's going on. Look at some more of this.
Volunteer to take a certain position, or what we should do in a how we should approach a particular situation in the state, and those conversations have to be able to be held in confidence. People have to be able to know that, okay, if one particular member of the leadership doesn't find, may have an issue with some of the things that a particular volunteer has done, maybe they've been name calling someone else, maybe they just don't seem like they're as adept on a platform as we're looking for. They have to be able to share that openly with the other members. Otherwise, you would kind of find yourself in like a perpetually gagged and paralyzed state.
Okay. There are questions that. Okay. There are questions that have come about the finances when it comes to MPP. It was reported that there was $20,000 spent on a logo. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was a firm that we hired to help us produce a logo, and at the time, we didn't know that they, in fact.
Okay, and also pause it for 1 second because I just want to point out, like, I've watched Nick Brana on other shows before. He doesn't behave like this on camera. He's like pretty confident, usually pretty clear, doesn't stammer. There are, and maybe I'm wrong. Chat, correct me because you've probably watched a lot more of Nick Brana on like the JDS than I have. But I've seen him a fair amount. I remember when he was doing a lot of like breaking reporting about the Bernie campaign on Jimmy's show, and I watched him always super charismatic, always super sure of himself, not a we hired and firm and they like, it sounds like you're really nervous, really fucking nervous. So maybe he's nervous because he's clearing his name, but whew, I don't know.
Oh yeah, in my opinion, he's very, very clearly lying here. And yeah, when it comes to this missing $20,000 for graphic design, what kind of shady shit is going on here, guys? Come on, what kind of shady shit is going on here? You don't pay a graphic design company $20,000 for a logo, let alone a logo that you haven't already agreed on before time. I mean,
and at the time, in the People's Party, no matter what people basically, I would be glad
for tomorrow.
Want to pass.
I want to move on to this question about the NDA. For people who are board members that are part of MPP, do they have to sign some type of a non-disclosure
platform
about that? Reported that there was $20,000 spent on a logo. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was a firm that we hired to help us produce a logo, and at the time, we didn't know that they, in fact, that one of the individuals who had suggested we hire that firm had previously worked with the firm, and so they ended up taking the product, the design, in a direction that was not what we were seeking, and so that's what happened. As a party, we make expenditures, some big, some small. I have to say again that if for anybody who's trying to start a political party, and any political party, you can go through and you can try to pick apart, like, why was this done? Why was this done?
You mean like he's constantly done about the Bernie campaign and the Democrats, and that's his whole brand?
Party, you can go through and you can try to pick apart, like, why was this done? Why was this done? And then if those reasons ultimately add up to, yes, I don't want a new party. I don't want Medicare for all. I don't want to end the wars. We're like, as we're having this conversation, two superpowers are like, 100 seconds to midnight. And so there just has to be kind of like a level of understanding, I feel, among people, that it's like every little controversy.
Okay, bro. Obviously, if it was like a $200 expenditure, maybe even $1,000, I doubt there would be very much scrutiny of that. I doubt people would be like, yo, what happened there? People would be like, yeah, of course, it's an organization. There's going to be expenditures. $20,000 is not a small mistake. $20,000 is not, oops, we accidentally, something didn't go right. We lost a couple hundred. Oops. No, $20,000. As Zach said, that's like like more than what I live on an entire year. Think about how many individual donations that is. I'm assuming the average donation to MPP is like $20 or so. I'm not good at math, but that's like hundreds of donations. You fucking flushed hundreds of dollars of $20,000 of donations down the fucking toilet, and your mealy-mouthed bullshit. He's about to say, they're trying to cancel me. Watch this shit.
Is so good at this, at just trying to cancel people or organizations for every little controversy and really losing sight of the big picture.
They're trying to cancel me.
It's like,
look at how disappointed Sab looks.
Destroying us. They're destroying
what the
us.
fuck is going on?
I get that part. Not understand. I get that. Now I understand that, but $20,000 is a lot of money for a logo. Like.
So yeah, again, shout out to Sabby for not just letting him weasel the fuck out of every answer. But that is probably the single worst answer I've ever heard in an interview, as far as like, one of these interviews goes. Hey, what about that missing $20,000 that supposedly went towards graphic design? First off, he starts by saying, we it was an honest mistake. $20,000 went to this firm. Turns out they had a different idea than us. Wait, what? You paid someone $20,000 to do graphic design for you before agreeing on a logo, before agreeing on design. So you basically just entrusted $20K into some random firm that may or may not have been sketchily connected to someone within the organization. And by the way, I thought the whole reason that your dad was the fucking chief of finances was because you trusted him, because he was such a great, financial director. Then how come he okayed this? How come your fucking dad was so inept at his position that he allowed $20,000 to get squandered, to go to absolutely nothing? Genuinely insane, if you ask me. And then the second part, to go on and say, well, there's a war going on right now, and why is the left trying to cancel me? It's like, bro, no one is trying to cancel you. We're trying to find out what happened to the money that was donated to you from working class people that were, sincere in their desire to form a third party and break the duopoly. It's important that we know these things if you're going to keep soliciting donations from people, if you're going to keep preying on people that just want a better political system, then they deserve to know how you're spending their money. And if there's a missing $20,000 expenditure that went to graphic design, which never materialized, perhaps that's worth looking into. Perhaps that's worth questioning. That's not being canceled, you fucking degenerate. This is like the dumbest right-wing talking point of all time. Someone's looking into me. Someone's like, investigating all the wrongdoings and dysfunction I have behind my party. They're trying to cancel me. It's so exhausting, and it's such bullshit.
Yeah, look, the thing is that it's so clear. Look, guys, we're not talking about a marketing package here. We're talking about they don't even have a fucking logo that they can produce to be like, see, this is what we got. Like, you're telling me they had a different idea? Where's that fucking original idea? You own it. You bought it for 20 grand. Show us where that fucking logo is, Nick. Provide some fucking evidence for this story. But that's why he will always, the Vanguard's motives or something. Because my next fucking question. Great. Can you show us the mock-ups? Can you show them to fucking anybody? That they technically should be owned by the people who donated to you. Send it to them in a fucking NFT, Nick. That way they're the only ones. I'm kidding. Send a JPEG over to everyone. Let's see the mock-ups, because anybody who's ever done any, and I mean, we've done very little at the Vanguard because we don't have a lot of money. We spent like $150 on a very nice local lady that helped us out a bunch. Okay. And she gave us like a bunch of fucking file images and a bunch of different forms and a bunch of different color schemes. We went with the yellow and black. Okay. We have another one that if we ever want to roll out shirts, we got a sunset for it, right? We still have it like from 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And we got that for $150. There's no way, unless something criminal happened, that they just don't have anything to show for it. So I would call on Nick to fucking release whatever drafts that they have of that mock-up that they bought for $20,000. If it's truly the People's Party, then that mock-up belongs to the people. So let's go ahead and say that first. That's my first point. And then, guys, if you're upset about $20,000 being wasted, why has nobody who's gotten a fucking chance to talk to this guy hit him with the one question I've been dying to fucking ask? Nick, how much do you pay yourself and how much does your dad pay himself? Is nobody going to ask him that shit? Because we're going to be pissed off about the $20,000 he pretended to spend on a fucking a new logo for them. How's he fucking been paying his bills? I guarantee you he's listed it as his full-time employment, so he's compensating himself somehow. Okay? He's the CEO. He's the owner of this company that's taking in a lot of donations. He's paying himself, guys. Nick, how much are you paying yourself? You want to release a fucking statement that I'll read? Release that on your fucking statement.
Yeah, if you ask me, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion solely, this $20,000 that he conveniently made disappear, I don't know where that went, guys, but I'm just saying it doesn't seem like it's 100% legit. It does not seem like it's 100. Seems like, again, in my opinion, it seems very suspiciously like a way to funnel himself or one of his confidants that money so that it could come right back into his own wallet. I'm just saying that's my suspicion. Obviously, that's not proven, but this is some of the sketchiest shit that I've ever seen done with, volunteer money, especially $20,000 worth of it. Anyway.
In particular, there is a really big opportunity.
Oh shit! 1 second.
Looking at the state,
GSM
Run like
about
candidates in ballot
why he hasn't run in any candidates after over 5 years of existence. This answer is pretty funny too.
with me. I do want to ask about candidates in ballot access. So at this point in time, has MPP run like any candidates for office? And if not, are there plans to do so in the future?
No, but absolutely there are plans. In particular, there is a really big opportunity looking at the state of the country to run, I believe, a populist presidential candidate. 2/3 of the country wants a major new party.
He's been saying this almost 6 years, guys. 6 years, the message hasn't changed.
Only a quarter identifies with Democrats or Republicans. We see what these, there's been no recovery, let alone from the Great Recession. And then the other, this depression that we had in the midst of COVID, which is basically continuing, people's standards of living continue to decline, no matter which party's in power, the cost of healthcare, the cost of education, student debt, all of it blows up. And so there is a massive opportunity. I remember when I worked in the Bernie 2016 campaign, with Bernie Sanders, my job there was to try to win him support from the superdelegates. It was a miserable job, but they hired me for it because I had worked on other Democratic campaigns, and they thought, well, you've worked with the establishment of the party, why don't you try to convince them to support Bernie? Obviously, they didn't have a lot of success. They were all lobbyists. They were all consultants. But there was a poll that I remember that showed that 65% of people wanted an independent candidate. Even in 2016, and then there was a similar poll in 2000. Jesse Ventura, there was some kind of buzz about whether Jesse Ventura was potentially going to run, and there was a Fox News poll that showed that he was polling at 18% without even campaigning, and that's pretty remarkable because that's enough to get into the debates. And so there's a huge opening. And really, it's up to us as a populist, as the left, to get our act together and field someone to challenge these two parties. Otherwise, we're going to get,
Yeah, he's literally said this exact same shit for half a decade now. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, and your party's all about urgently getting things done. You've been sitting on your hands, bro. You've been grifting. You have been using these people's money for your own fucking benefit and your friends' benefit and to stay relevant and to have a Twitter that gets like 400 favorites on a tweet, I guess. I don't know what the fuck else you were doing. Watching Amazon Prime videos, I would wager. I don't fucking know. It's such bullshit, man. What sucks so bad about this, guys, is it's just going to discourage anybody from getting behind a third party. And it's going to shuffle a bunch of people back to the Democrats because it's like, well, if we're going to deal with corruption, at least we can deal with corruption. We know the devil we know.
Right. And just to remind you guys about what a gaslighter this piece of shit is, here is a clip. I'm not going to play it, but 9 months ago, he went on the Jimmy Dore show for a segment called People's Party Invites You to Nominate Your Next Congressperson. And I watched this segment. He basically said, here's the form, fill it out. If you know a movement leader in your area or a political, independent progressive in your area, you should draft them. And we're going to run them as candidates. They were saying that in this congressional election cycle, in the 2022 congressional election cycle, they were going to run a candidate. That was 9 months ago, guys. And now he's saying, oh, we're going to try to run a presidential candidate in 2024. Can't wait to see how that goes. And seemingly all plans have been abandoned to run congressional candidates in this cycle. Again, that was 9 months ago that he said that, and probably, solicited quite a few donations because of it. But that's what this is all about, guys. It's just about gaslighting the audience, moving the goalposts, and collecting as much donation money in the process as possible. That's all this is about, guys. It's so blatantly obvious.
Trump, DeSantis, or Biden, or Harris, and we all know what that leads to. And really, I don't know how much more this country, this planet, can take. We're really flirting with existential risks now to human civilization as a whole, let alone the country. When you're talking about genetically engineered viruses, the kind that were being experimented on at the Wuhan lab, that Fauci FOIA requests have demonstrated.
The fuck does this have to do with anything, by the way?
War, as is happening in Ukraine right now. So, we can
stop paying attention to the dysfunction of my party. There's a nuclear war imminent, and the coronavirus. Stop looking into me.
I can't get over how uncomfortable Sabrina looks. Just how disappointed and just like, oh, you're really putting in the work on that one, Sabs. So that good for you.
Something happens, but and maybe as a species, if we can't get our act together before then, maybe we deserve it.
Are there MPP candidates running in this year, like 2022 or 2024, or?
Not yet. There are some potentially interested. We need ballot access in states. We have ballot access in 2 states, Virginia and
that
Florida.
Means no.
You can register as a member of the People's Party in several other states, including Massachusetts, California, Oregon. But we don't have a slate of candidates for 2022 yet. And that means that they wouldn't be able to run on the ballot as a People's Party candidate.
Okay, there's some.
But in municipal races that are nonpartisan, there we could run People's Party affiliated candidates, and
then do it.
That we could do that.
We've literally been begging for them to pivot their fucking. For so long they were taking fat shits on running in city councils. Nick Brana was like, "No, we're not interested in that." Essentially, and we were like, "Why? That's the only place you could fucking win." Because the exact point he just made, he started speaking sense for a second there. They're nonpartisan. That's how you win. You win on your fucking ideas at the city council level. That's what I was just fucking talking about like 3 days ago. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're 100% correct. And also, they don't necessarily actually have to have ballot access in states to run. They can do what the Green Party did in 2020 in the state of Maine with Lisa Savage, who ran as an independent and was pledging to then identify as a Green if she were to be elected. So she was running as an independent, and the idea was that in the event she got elected, she would change her party registration to the Green Party. There's nothing stopping People's Party from doing this in any state they want. They could run anyone they want as an independent candidate, and then if that person gets elected, they can turn around and register with the People's Party. There's absolutely nothing stopping them from doing this, and the fact that they're not doing it just shows that they're not serious, or that no one is interested in running with MPP for obvious reasons, which is probably a big part of it too. Who wants to be associated with this, dumpster fire of a, fake party anyway?
Though, the biggest opening for us as a populist movement and as the left is really to be able to field a very strong presidential candidate that appeals to left and right in the way that Jesse Ventura did, and run a candidate such as
run local candidates though. Like I'm thinking more so like not just the federal level, because I like to focus on the states a lot as well. So I'm thinking more so city council or school board or mayor or governor. What about starting on the local level? Is that something that could be done now, or?
Absolutely. In fact, in our last national organizing committee call just last night, there was an individual in Georgia who's considering such a run. And so municipal races are great as a way of getting a foothold, because you can run without having a ballot line yet, and potentially elect some candidates. But kind of going back to what I was saying before too, I think that where people are in this country, and I've been to more than a dozen states over the last 5 years that I've volunteered.
Also, just think about how much that $20,000 could have done as far as a city council race goes, or as far as a local office race goes. If this dude was actually at all serious about getting people elected to any positions locally with the People's Party, imagine what $20,000 would have done. The $20,000 that mysteriously disappeared towards graphic design, which never actually materialized. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's more than nothing. That's quite a bit. Good amount of money to start off with. If this party was even remotely serious, that money would have been spent helping some city council candidate or some state house candidate, state senate, whatever, fucking local dog catcher, anything to give this organization the clout it needs to, succeed, if it were actually interested in succeeding and not just grifting Jimmy Dore's audience, which is clearly the objective. But thanks, Daspo's Fleisch, for the $4.99. If MPP achieved anything, it is to teach Nick how to talk like a politician, giving no substance at all. Although in this one, he's, doing a pretty bad job, to be honest. He's not excelling as far as his bullshitting goes.
No, he kind of expected this. I guarantee what happened is I watched like as much as I could stomach of his appearance on Jimmy Dore's show, like from, I don't know, it was like a week ago. It felt like maybe less than a week ago. Anyway, and Jimmy was just like setting him up like little T-balls for him to hit. Hey man, what about? Oh, like hit that one, okay. And then I think he just kind of assumed that, okay, got the Jordan Sheraton out of the way. I made it look like that phony DSA or DNC plan was freaking just trying to smear me, man. Okay, now Sabrina, she'll be reasonable. She's gonna softball me again. No, that's not what he got. And I think he doesn't know how to portray Sabrina, somebody who was, I'm pretty sure, on the same night featured on the Jimmy Dore show, somebody who's also a friend of Jimmy, and the one line that Nick Brana knows he can't cross or his career's fucking over, which would be fucking crossing Jimmy. So he can't pretend that somebody that's friendly with Jimmy is a fucking DNC plant, a fucking operative, right? And she's also made it clear for a long time that she's wanted to give the MPP the benefit of the doubt, but she's not, also hasn't turned her back on the petitioner. She's had them on her show. She's spoken with them. She's familiar with their arguments, so she's going to bring the heat. He doesn't realize it. He melts down. He looks like absolute shit, and it only gets worse.
With the People's Party. And in all of my conversations, it's not that people don't want an independent party. It's that they really want to see a viable plan. They're desperate for it. They're desperate for an alternative.
Yeah, you're doing a lot to give them a viable third party.
Parties. And so I think that's the challenge, is people don't want to play around the edges. Things are so degraded and messed up in this country that people want solutions that are on the scale of the problems that we face. And that's why I think that the presidential campaign is really the strongest avenue that we as a broader movement could take.
Okay. Have you spoken to Princess Blanding by chance? Because I had her on, and she was an independent candidate. She ran for governor in Virginia. If not, I highly recommend you speak to her, because Princess Blanding had an incredibly difficult time running as an independent candidate in Virginia. They wouldn't let her debate, even though she met all the requirements. So she's a part of the Liberation Party, but I highly recommend, I can give you the contact info if you need it, but I highly recommend speaking with her, because Virginia is a very difficult state to run as a third party or independent candidate, because the rules are ridiculously strict. But yeah, I definitely recommend reaching out to her. So ballot access in Florida and Virginia. I know I know people are trying to get ballot access here in Massachusetts as well. So look, that was a lot of information put out. Again, like, I'm not judge and jury here, but I did need to ask those questions. And I have to ask this one as well, Nick. Like, given everything that has happened and the things that have come out, and even after this interview, I feel that even after this interview, I don't feel that this is going to calm down like for a while. So given everything that has come out, do you think it may be best for the organization as a whole if you were to step down as leader?
That's up to the organization, frankly. And the reaction that I've received has been the complete opposite. The reaction that I've received is that we are grateful to you for...
Except for all the dissenters that you booted from the organization, or the 5 board members that you axed from MPP because they were dissenting and didn't like you. Except for everyone that we purged and cleansed from our party. Everyone loves me. What are you talking about?
My dad thinks I'm awesome.
Putting yourself out in a way that you become the target of these attacks, and that you do so knowing
Still
that
taking no responsibility.
whoever is in your position will inevitably face these kinds of attacks. That is the reaction that I have received. Instead, is one of gratefulness. And I'll also say that I know that even though I can intellectually know that whomever was in my position would face attacks like this, because we see movement leaders, Shahid
This is
Buttar,
such bullshit.
It's pathetic,
Julian
dude.
Assange,
Did you hear that shit? He just compared himself to Julian Assange. This motherfucker, this piece of shit, just accused himself to Julian Assange, compared himself to Julian Assange, an actual hero who is currently rotting in fucking prison for exposing war crimes. Meanwhile, this fucking joker is vacuuming up people's donation money with nothing to show for it, enriching himself and his family. Oh my God. I can't even with this shit. And also, like, what do you mean anyone in your position would deal with the shit? What did he say exactly? He says
that whomever was in my position would face attacks like this.
Okay, what about Howie Hawkins? Howie Hawkins was one of the co-founders of the Green Party. He ran in 2020 as their presidential party. To my knowledge, no, he hasn't faced this sort of dysfunction at the Green Party. No one's accusing him of sexual harassment. No one, he's not purging board members from Green Party. There's lots of third parties and third party leaders. Yeah, obviously they're under pressure. Obviously they have a big hill to climb politically. It's a tough task. But no, it's not like every single person involved in third parties or leading a third party effort is facing these allegations, and for over a year now has faced this sort of allegations as far as the dysfunction goes, as far as the abuse goes, and not even to mention the sexual harassment charges. So he's just straight up lying. No, not everyone that's involved in third parties deals with attacks like this.
And not only that, guys, the closest person that Gavin could even off the top of his head think up was an actual candidate. Because for a guy that runs a party called the People's Party, and everybody who is still challenging us like, oh, well, they had to fucking, these people, Nick didn't want it to become a woke party. If it's Nick's party, name me one other political party where the person that runs it with an iron fist and, oh, you can't pick North Korea. Sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who is the leader of the Democratic Party that's not like some weird fucker that has no power, or a guy that, can decide when and whenever at any point the Democratic Party platform changes? No, the Democratic Party platform changes. Yes, there are some elements of unity from Nancy Pelosi, again, a corrupt fucking money washed lady, but at least a fucking elected official for the party and not just some head honcho. Like, it's very weird, to quote Joe Rogan. It's very weird. You know what's very weird? The fact that they call themselves the People's Party, but yet they're most diehard populist. I'm such a free thinker, bro. Like, Nick wants us to do it this way. This is the way the people want to do it, because it's like, you fucking sound crazy, like you have a messiah. And Nick Brana can't, nothing about this party indicates that it's a true people's party. It's just like Nick Brana's hobby and grift. So, yeah, and of course he's not going to step down, because then it would be all like, the only reason this exists is to prop up and benefit Nick Brana. That's the only reason why it exists. Like, and the bullshit fucking answer that he gave about his father running the finances, like, we would call that nepotism any other fucking way. Yeah. Do you think that if fucking Joe Biden made Hunter Treasury of Secretary, that somebody like Jimmy Dore might have something to say about that? Like, yeah, of course he would. But no, Nick, don't get mad at me, but I have to ask you this, please.
That even though I can intellectually know that whomever was in my position would face attacks like this, because we see movement leaders, Shahid Buttar, Julian Assange, New York mayoral candidate, many others.
And also the New York mayoral candidate. Yeah, he was a real revolutionary. What was that guy's name? I don't even remember. But yeah, anyway, yeah, even if you remove the sexual harassment allegation, because you could say, yeah, Shahid Buttar also dealt with, fake allegations of sexual harassment, supposedly. There's other examples of that, but it's not like the entire campaign staff of Shahid Buttar's congressional, committee, left the organization or was purged because of all the dysfunction that they exposed. Shahid Buttar dealt with, yes, a couple allegations that he claims are false. He, unequivocally denounces and denies them. But it's not like there was all this dysfunction behind the scenes of his campaign. Nick Brana is trying to chalk all the dysfunction, all the abuse in his organization up to infiltration, and compare himself to Shahid Buttar and Julian Assange. But it's not like those people dealt with those things. They dealt with one instance that's somewhat similar to what you're dealing with. But it's not like they were running this, flailing, dysfunctional organization. This is only the latest in a string of complaints or accusations against Nick Brana.
These kinds of allegations are weaponized against them constantly. And even knowing that, even though I know that intellectually, and even though I know that I haven't done anything wrong, it doesn't reduce the pain or the hardship of being a source of controversy to a movement that I love and to which
we should all pity him.
The last 5 years of my life and the people.
Yeah, you've devoted the last 5 years of your life to it with absolutely fucking zilch to show for it, bro. Absolutely fucking zilch. So maybe if for no other reason than that, you should consider stepping away from this party. Maybe that would allow it to actually succeed in some way, shape, or form, because clearly there's something that's very, very wrong here. And it seems like it has a lot to do with your leadership, bro.
Who have believed and given to it and volunteered in everything they've done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to be mean. He
started crying there for a second and had to, turn off his camera to boohoo a little bit. Crocodile tears, obviously. Again, comparing himself to Julian Assange is just what really got me. Fuck off, dude. But it's all worth listening to. And again, the parts that we unfortunately weren't able to show you is when Sabby repeatedly asked him for proof and he has nothing to give her. She's like, hey, do you have any proof of this conversation taking place? Nope. Do you have any recording of this taking? Nope. Do you have any proof here? Evidence of this? Nope. And someone in the chat says that the evidence he promised to give her, he has yet to deliver on, obviously. So anyway, pretty disgraceful. If anyone's still defending this clown, then they are themselves a clown. I don't know what else to say about this other than that it's just totally fucking embarrassing. This interview did not go well for Nick, despite what he might say.
Oh, God, it was fucking embarrassing. And yeah, shout out to Sabrina at Sabby Sabs show. Fucking great interview. Could not have gone better. She held his feet to the fire. He wasn't expecting it. I remember. I remember before this, I was like, oh God, Sabrina, like, I hope he doesn't blow up at you and you have to scream at him over, like Jordan Cheriton did, just because Sav is a really, really nice lady. And she was really nice to, Nick the whole time he was on there. She's always been super nice to us. So obviously I was rooting for her, to have a good interview. And it just seemed like it went really well. Like, she held his feet to the fire and she was poised and she just would not fucking let him move without, being overly aggressive and letting people just say that, they wanted to slaughter him, which is something I was always worried about with us fucking interviewing Nick, is like us losing our fucking temper and then just calling him a fucking piece of shit on air. And then everybody's like, well, these guys hated him anyway. Sabby was able to remain like cool as a cucumber the whole time. And that was tight.